Time now to check in with a man who has been answering our questions about education from concerned parents right across this country. Dwayne Matthews is an education strategist. He is joining us from Toronto to answer a few of the questions he's been receiving. Good morning to you.
Good morning. How are you?
I still really enjoy the fact that you have a blackboard behind you. It's just one of my favorite things. Okay,
This is actually my kitchen wall.
I love that. And of course, you would have a blackboard in your kitchen wall. Question one, let's talk about reading. I'm going to read the question. I know that reading is important. How can I continue reading if the bookstores and libraries are closed? Over to you.
So what happens is a lot of Canadian libraries, we have one of the best Canadian library systems. We have one of the best library systems in the world. They've gone online. So you really want to go online. There's thousands and thousands of books there that you can grab for free. Another that I know that is a fan favorite of teachers is a company called Epic. Epic has 40,000 books. Typically, they charge parents, but they've moved to a free model from now till June, so parents have access to those. And usually students really like those books. The last that I thought was pretty exciting was Audible from Amazon. They also have put their books on for free for students. So if you have access, you can make those kinds of connections and connect into to those companies and the library system.
Okay, speaking of connecting, I know a lot of people are thinking about, okay, how much is too much screen time? So here's question number two. How much time should we spend online learning, Dwayne?
So that's a great question that a lot of parents have been asking. As a matter of fact, I was up 12:30 last night fielding that one. And what I say is all screen time is not created equal. As a matter of fact, I think I heard that from Melissa. But what you really want to think about is productivity, entertainment, and social connection. So really look at those three buckets, and then you want to measure and monitor those three buckets. I use screen time on my iPhone to measure those, so I get a sense of what my son is doing and when he's on, as well as my daughter. The next point that I like to make is book in Pioneer time. So the Pioneer time is really, really important. That's important for you as you're working from home as well, and for your children. And that's no electronics whatsoever. We typically have questions at the dinner table. We may have games at games night, or even just time for kids to be bored. A lot of creativity comes from boredom. Isaac Newton discovered gravity when he was sitting under a tree doing nothing.
Exactly. A very good point. Finally, you mentioned open-ended projects. Here's the last question. Can you provide an example of when you did?
So the open-ended projects, one of the great open-ended projects that I've done with my son is we asked him to design, or sorry, not design, but solve a Rubik's Cube. So he had to figure out how to solve a Rubik's Cube, and he had to go through and do, I'm sorry, my daughter just rolled into the kitchen here. He had to, she wants to know what I'm doing.
Oh, so cute.
Yeah, and she can't hear. And so anyways, so what we did was we designed that Rubik's Cube, and he had to go online. He had to try and figure out, how do I do this with a video? He realized that he couldn't do it with a video, and then he figured out an AR app that helped him to solve the Rubik's Cube itself. And that was part of our design thinking. I'm just going to put her down over here. She's actually drawing on a piece of paper. So that was her design thinking. That was his design thinking. And This is amazing.
This is life. Wait, this is life.
This is actually my conference calls all the time. This is how the life is right now.
Yeah.
And she is immediately, she's drawing on a piece of paper and refusing to move.
Hey, listen, it's so nice to see you and your family, and your tips are always right on point. I'll give you a little tidbit. My son handed me a Rubik's Cube over the weekend, and I went, I've never been able to finish this, and handed it right back to him. So I need to take that tip and redo that conversation I had. Dwayne, great to see you as always. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much for having me.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.